Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Rats on Film, the show where a couple of film rats chat about movies. On the show today, we have no other choice but to talk about no other choice. Today, I have Jonnie.
Hey, yo.
And I'm your host, Xander, here for a little rat chat episode. What's up? You told me that this is your first rat chat.
I guess so, but I guess the Andor one.
You invented this format for the show.
The format of just talking about one single thing. I invented it for everybody.
Yeah, you came up with it. Yeah, you're the mastermind.
I did feel like I did do that, and I do feel like I deserve more credit on more people talking, just in general. I should get paid. And if I don't get paid, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might do something drastic.
You might have to. We have no other choice.
Yeah, I might.
So we're gonna talk about Park Chan-wook's movie from 2025, No Other Choice. This is my favorite movie of last year, and we haven't really talked about it, so it's kind of, this has been a good save it for the pod. We don't technically really adhere to don't talk about things amongst ourselves before the pod, but we just haven't actually talked since you've seen it that much.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely don't do the don't talk about things, save it for the pod. But I just saw it 2 days ago. I thought, it was probably my favorite movie of last year as well. It wasn't even gonna play near me, but then it started getting a lot of traction with. I was thinking about driving a good hour and a half away to go try to see it because I really wanted to, because I'm a big Park Chan-wook fan. But yeah, it seems like it's getting more traction with Golden Globes and Oscars and stuff. So it actually was just in all the theaters by me, which was great.
Yeah, it's actually done really well at the box office the past couple weeks since it had its wide release.
In the theater when I saw it, there was 4 people maybe, but I liked it.
Yeah, I've seen it twice now, and I think it's incredible. We'll do a little, I guess this is our spoiler-free reaction before we get into the full spoilers, but I think it's so well done. I love pretty much everything about it, and it's one of my favorite times I've had in a movie theater in the past year. I thought it was excellent.
I think the thing about Park Chan-wook that makes his movies so good is that every single aspect of the entire movie is thought out from top to bottom. From
I totally agree with
the
you.
shots to the editing to the acting to the story to the little details of character traits and character history and personality, right? Every single thing is so well thought out and leading towards whatever it is that he's trying to say. His movies, when you watch them, they're just on another level, and they really show you the ultimate power of cinema. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm fully with you. I think he's truly a master of
100%
direction. This is an adaptation of a book. I actually learned recently too that there's actually another movie, I think it's a French movie, that was made as an adaptation of this book before. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew it was an adaptation of a book, but I didn't know about the French movie.
Yeah, and I know from watching it and having seen some of his other movies how much he brings to the table in terms of the filmmaking, in terms of every little piece, every little detail that just elevates the material so much. I think he's one of the best.
He also has something that I think is great about Korean cinema, which is that you can't really put them in one genre,
Mm-hmm.
They have everything. They have comedy, they have horror, they have drama. They really have it all. As somebody who lives in the United States, right, and watches mostly Western movies, it gets to the point where sometimes you're watching movies and you're like, I know what's going to happen. I've seen this movie before, right? But when you watch Korean films, you really don't know where it's going to go.
All right, you want to do a spoiler review?
Yeah, but I guess to end the spoiler review, amazing movie, definitely go see it. Should we give a basic of what the movie's about, or not even just go see it blind?
I think we should, but we should be vague. You should go see it blind, but I guess...
I mean, I knew what it was about in the most vague sense, that it's about a man who loses his job and is taking drastic measures to try to get it back.
Yeah.
That's what I knew going in genuinely.
Yeah, I think that's a good synopsis, and you should 100% go see it. Highly recommend from the Rats. All right, now, full spoilers. If you haven't seen the film yet, I don't recommend listening. Go watch it, and then you can come back and see what our full reactions are to the movie. All right, where do you want to start with this? Because I feel like this is such a dense movie, and to your point about
it's
Park
really
Chan-wook, having just every single element be a part of the larger whole in the story and the theme that he's telling. I can't. I've seen it twice, and I'm still like, wow. It's incredible how much he packs into the frame.
I would say so to get into it, like we just said, the movie's about a man, which I don't remember what his name is. What was his name?
Mansu.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So he is fired from his job that he's worked at for 25 years, along with a bunch of other people. They're bought by some American company and they're downsizing. And so his family is in turmoil, and feels like he has to be the provider of the family. And he doesn't want to do anything else besides what he did was he made paper. And so he decides that in order to get another job, he's going to need to eliminate his competition, basically.
What strikes me so much about it is, you brought this up a little bit in the no spoiler chat, the blending of genres, but I think along with that is the blending of tones here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's masterfully done, where that's a pretty dark subject matter, what you've just described, right? This guy who's unemployed, his family's falling apart around him, and he's going to kill other people to try and
out of like
save himself and his family. Right, exactly. It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
But somehow the movie manages to be really funny, really heartfelt at times, just such a spectrum of emotions that you feel, and such a spectrum of tones coming out of the movie that I just think are so well balanced here. The movie starts, I think that this is important because I think that the book ending in this, and we'll get to the end in a little while, but the book ending of this movie is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But it just starts with a family barbecue, and you get a nice family group hug, and he says, "I have everything I've ever wanted."
Yeah, it's almost funny too, because you're watching the first scene and everything is so idyllic, and the sun is shining. It doesn't even look real. You know what I mean? It's like CGI to a point of surrealism, right? With the petals falling and the sun shining. He's giving his wife gifts. She's hugging him, saying, "Oh my God, you're the best. Let's go dancing together." They've got golden retrievers running around and playing. Like it's the quote unquote perfect life.
Cut to, he loses his job.
Yeah.
Now he's in a proper crisis. I think Lee Byung-hun here it's my favorite performance of the year. I think he's incredible.
He's really good in it. Carries the movie.
Yeah, he carries the movie so hard, and it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell for this guy who is plotting the murders of other down on their luck people, basically, right? He identifies that other people are getting laid off, and if a job opening were to come up, if he were to kill a guy who had the job he wanted, that there would be other people like him trying to get that job as well, and would he actually be the one to get it?
See, I sort of love that too, because he thinks about it a lot. He's not just like killing people, and the movie's going on real world logic a little bit, even though it's insane, right? Like obviously it's hyperbolic, but he's about to kill the guy, like you just said, of the job that he wants. But he's about to kill him. It's the famous shot of the movie with him holding the pot over his head, which is an amazing shot.
Incredible visual. Yeah, incredible visual.
And he thinks to himself, yeah, if I kill this guy though, other people are going to be applying for his job as well. I'm not the only person who's lost his job in this paper industry crisis right now. So he makes a fake company. All of the people who are his competitors apply to it. He gets all of their information, where they live, what their phone number is, what their age is. Yep. Like, it's actually fucking genius. And then he looks at all of their resumes and then ranks himself, like, honestly and earnestly, right? How do I rank up against these other guys? Oh, these two guys are better than me, and they would get the job over me, so I have to kill them. Like, I don't want to. Again, no other choice. But he's looking at it from a purely, like, logical standpoint, right? He's not doing it in a malicious, I'm a serial killer way. He's like, I literally have to do this.
Well, and that's what I love about Lee's performance here as well, because you're so spot on. There's so much nuance to what he's doing here. He doesn't want to kill these guys. He really doesn't. He's not, in his mind, he's not an evil guy, and it's not really like part of him, but he genuinely feels like he has no other choice. He has to provide for his family. The societal pressures put upon him make him feel like if he's not putting food on the table and letting his daughter go to cello practice and lessons and all of these things, that he's a failure. So he 100% goes in on this like logic of this is the only way out. But the entire time he's doing it, he doesn't really want to do it. One of the moments that strikes me so much is when the first guy that he's plotting to murder, his wife is cheating on him, and he comes home, and Mansu tries to stop him from catching his wife cheating on him because he knows it will hurt his feelings.
Yeah, he doesn't want him to die being devastated. He's going to kill him anyway, but...
Right. It's crazy.
that this is where I think this movie actually excels. And because I do think it's not a concept that's entirely new, I guess, right? The idea
Sure.
that somebody, because of the societal pressures, breaks and does something
Right.
crazy and becomes a killer or becomes a
Yeah, they
monster,
get pushed
right?
too far.
There's a lot of movies like that, and a lot of great movies, don't get me wrong. But I would say there's a couple ways that this movie differs from that and stands on its own. And one of those ways is exactly what we're talking about, which is that he doesn't necessarily become a crazy maniac. Do you know what I mean? He's truly like, I just have to do this. This is just what I have to do.
I was at a Q&A with Park Chan-wook and Lee Byung-hun, and he said that it's one of the most difficult characters he's ever played because he just couldn't relate to him. He didn't understand. He was like, why would anybody ever do this? It just makes no sense to me.
And he did an amazing job.
I think that the way that the movie gradually pushes him further over the edge, right? Like you said, the societal pressures, the circumstances tip him over the edge where he plots to kill his competition. And then you get to the scene, my favorite scene in the whole movie, when
The guy's
he's
listening to the
going to,
music.
yes,
Yeah,
when he's going to
that
kill
is
him.
one of the best parts.
First of all, whoever came up with the visual, I'm assuming Director Park, of he wore 4 oven mitts to hide the gun that he taped to his hand. Like, he's kind of an idiot. What is he like? He's being smart, but also what does he think he's doing there? Like, I love that psychosis and trying to dissect, like, why did he think that that was necessary? But what I love about that scene is the misunderstanding, because the character that he's going to kill is listening to music really loudly. Mansu walks into the room and pulls the gun out, and he assumes that you're here to kill me because you want my wife for yourself. And Mansu is like, I'm really sorry, I have to do this. And they do not understand each other. They do not hear each other, and they're having 2 separate conversations with each other. And what I love in that scene too is Mansu's character saying, why didn't you listen to your wife's very smart suggestion of, you don't need to do paper, go work in a different industry. You don't need this job. And that guy is saying, no, that's all I've ever known. It's what's fed me for 25 years. I have to do this. And the hypocrisy of Mansu there, where he's the exact same.
Yeah.
I think there's so much depth in that scene. And then to the point about, like, he gets slowly pushed over the edge. He actually doesn't even kill the guy. The wife ends up in the scuffle being the one to commit the murder. And in that moment in the movie, I'm thinking to myself, is he going to get away with this without actually committing a crime?
Yeah. I was thinking that too. No, that scene's amazing. And that whole, because it's also hilarious because why does he even care that there's a misunderstanding, that the guy thinks he's cheating on his wife? He wants to clarify, no, this is a different thing.
Yes.
It's like, you're going to kill him anyway. Why do you give a shit? You don't care about being a murderer, but you care about not being a cheater. And this is what I was trying to get on before, is that the movie is showing the problems with a capitalist society and our obsession with job and money and success being directly tied to your self-worth as a person, right? And as I was saying before, there's other movies that do stuff like that show people losing it because of societal pressures. But this movie, it doesn't need to make the main character the Joker. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of what I mean. Like, I think it's almost more powerful to make it like he's in his own mind being reasonable with what he's doing, because this is what the world has led him to that this makes sense to him. Like, it's hyperbolic, but it works more effectively because of that. And over the course of the movie, like, Mansu falls more and more into losing his humanity until he's working with robots.
Yep.
There's no humans around him. He's lost all the connection.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great devolution for the character. And it's done really, really gradually. You never justify what he's doing. I feel like he's never really like a sympathetic character to me. But you at least understand, like, damn, this is what we're doing to ourselves. This is what the world society is. Yes, this is what the world is. Exactly. Yeah. This is what's happening around us.
Exactly. I agree. You're not sympathetic to him. You're sympathetic to that this is the world we're living in. You're like sympathetic for yourself and everybody around you, you know?
Yeah. Sure. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Cut to the second murder. He does commit it, right? You have the escalation, the step up to where he actually now is going through with it on his own. He shoots the guy.
And this one's more tragic because it's actually a really nice guy.
And a mirror to himself in a way, right? He has a daughter. He's trying to do the best he can for her. He's trying to make money for her. He wants her to have a good time and a good life. which is also all the things that Monsu is thinking.
And he's also doing it in the way that Monsu should be doing it, which is that he
Right.
gets a second job and a shitty job
Right.
that he doesn't love, but he's doing it because he has to.
Well, and then the transition when he feels like he becomes a victim finally, and he says to his wife, "You don't understand. My job interviews are really, really difficult."
Yeah.
And it's funny but scary to me, where, like you're saying, he has this logic to stuff, and he's thinking, "You shouldn't be mean to me. I'm doing what I need to do for this family, and you don't even understand."
Yeah, you don't
how
even
much
know
I'm
the
doing."
lengths I'm going to try to save
Right.
this family.
It's brilliant. It's so, there's so many levels and so many layers to the character.
Well, and again, we keep talking about it, but that's why he is so effective as a main character, because he's doing villainous things, but to himself, his logic is completely sound. And you're looking at it like, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And he just is able to justify all of it because of the circumstances.
And so then this is maybe the most interesting part about him as a character. You get to the final murder, the guy that has the job that he wants.
Yes.
So now he's eliminated the competition and he goes to kill this guy. And what fascinates me about this is he knows the guy likes whiskey. There's a little subplot that he used to be an alcoholic and he's been sober. He gets this bottle of whiskey. He goes there. He gets the guy drunk and they get to talking. And the guy relays to him that he's actually struggling at work. It's really hard. There's a lot of work to do. And Monsu suggests to him, "You should ask them to hire me. We get along really well and we could work together and do it together." And the guy goes, "You know what? I'll do that."
Yeah, he agrees.
And you think to yourself, he could have just done this to start with. He could have just tried to befriend this guy and get in that way. Why did he do all of this? And then even worse than that, he still kills the guy.
Because he has to, because he killed the other guys. That's what he says. He's like, because if I don't kill you, then the other guys died for nothing. So I have to finish what I started.
Again, the crazy logic that he has to what he's doing.
I really like that part too, because when he starts getting drunk and just goes fucking crazy, that was a good payoff too, about like how the whole movie, the wife is like, "You didn't drink, right?" Because she thinks he's out drinking when he's killing all these people.
Right.
And it's a real concern for her. Don't drink again. You're fucking crazy when you drink.
Yeah.
It turns out he's crazy when he doesn't drink too.
Yeah.
But it just gets even worse.
Yeah, him pulling out his tooth, that nagging tooth. Again, back to your original point about just Park Chan-wook as a director, every little detail adds to the overall tapestry that is this film. He's got this nagging little pain that he can't get rid of, that finally, when he's going to commit the last murder, he thinks, "Oh, I'm finally free, right? I finally have done it." Just a great little added piece to...
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're totally right.
Yeah, just to reinforce the themes, right? He's had this rotten tooth since he became unemployed, and now that he's going to have a job again, his tooth isn't rotten anymore. He got rid of it.
And I was thinking of it, I think it's, the way I saw it in the movie was as a pride thing, right? Like, he's not going to fix his tooth until he's earned the right to fix it through having money to spend.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so right about that.
But you're right. It's multifaceted. But that's what makes the movie so good. There's just so many little details that are just full of symbolism. Because another great one in the movie is one that he's a gardener and obsessed with plants. And there's multiple times in the movie where, well, the second guy he kills, he buries in his yard and puts a tree on top of it. But there's multiple times in the movie where he's talking about plants and how basically shit and piss and dead pigs from his grandfather's farm.
Things dying breeds new life.
Exactly. So he, again, it's going for the point of like, this is a man who believes that sacrifice and death must be made for success, right?
No, it's so true. That's a great point.
But also, the choice of him to be into gardening and trees and all of that it leads to a lot of interesting visuals. Like, for example, at the beginning when he's frustrated and he's trying to form the bonsai tree and he's putting all the wires around it and he's twisting it to a place where it doesn't want to go, and then it ultimately breaks. It's almost like foreshadowing to his own story, right? He's been put in a position he doesn't want to be in.
Sure.
Being unemployed, being this failure, and how he's snapped, right? Like the tree branch.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
He's going to do shit that he shouldn't do. And then again, that comes back in with where he wraps up the body with the metal, which is bizarre and like
An insane visual.
disturbing, right?
Yeah,
But
a really, really disturbing visual.
Again, it shows his. I think this is the big through line of the movie: how a capitalist and job focused society leads to dehumanization, right? He's able to do this to this man because he doesn't value humanity and he doesn't have respect for it, right? But the other piece of symbolism in it that isn't the gardening thing is that the gun that he's using to kill people with,
Mm-hmm.
his father's gun that he got from the Vietnam War, right?
Yep.
So it's very purposeful that they're using this specific gun. They make a whole point about it. And there's a lot of historical meaning behind South Korea's involvement in the Vietnam War, because South Korea, after the Korean War, was basically an extremely, extremely poor and decimated country. They agreed to help the United States in the Vietnam War, where they committed terrible atrocities alongside the United States for money. And it was one of the things that got South Korea's economy to boom from basically being an extremely, extremely poor country post-Korean War. It's a literal parallel to the movie, abandoning your humanity, right, in order to get money and be successful, because that's the only thing that matters in a capitalist society.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I actually didn't know that about the Vietnam gun.
And then there's also that scene in the movie when he's talking to his son right after his son gets arrested, and he's like having a father-son moment where he's like imparting his wisdom onto the son.
Right.
And what does he say? He says, "You know how my father got that gun? He ripped it out of a Viet Cong soldier's hand. Like, everybody in the world is going to kill you and you have to fight back and take what's yours," right?
Yeah,
like
it's kill
that's
or be
basically
killed.
what he says.
Right, and that's where he's at with what his plan is for everything.
Yeah, exactly. It shows his philosophy in life, which is that you need to fight to get what's yours, right? Everybody's against you. Everybody's your enemy. Nobody's on your side. That's what he thinks. And that's also a thing that a lot of people in the real world think. Like, his is to an extreme because you're talking about war and violence, but a lot of people do think you're on your own. Nobody's going to help you, right? That's a very common ideology. You have to take what's yours. But I think the greater point is that we live in a world where this does make sense and this has been successful to people, to completely disregard humanity and not make friends along the way and not do things in a kind way, right? To do things in a more
Sure.
a more selfish way, because that's what finds success.
And so then you get to the ending of this movie,
which is an amazing ending too.
Yeah, I think the book ending here is incredible. He gets everything he wanted. It all works out for him. He gets off scot-free. He gets hired by the company, and it couldn't have been a more hollow victory.
Everything is AI. It's just him working with machines.
There's basically, he doesn't need to do anything. There's nothing fulfilling about what he's doing anymore. And the film opens with that barbecue scene we talked about where he's saying, "I have everything I've ever wanted." At the end, his wife figures out what he's done, and his son witnesses him chopping up the second guy
and
to fertilize the tree with, to bury him. And it scars him. Because of that, all of the relationships in his life are irrevocably changed. His wife will never look at him the same way again because she knows what he did. And his son is a little bit afraid of him, even though he's been told not to be. And he offers at the end, "Oh, we should have a barbecue this weekend," just like how the film starts. And they both go, "No."
Yeah.
He'll never have that barbecue group hug, let's go dancing moment ever again.
And even his wife, because the wife, like you said, knows. But she doesn't really do anything. She just chooses to live in discomfort, and she knows that it's wrong.
Yeah, it's an interesting character. I think part of that, too, for her is a different sort of societal pressure. Like, this is just, this whole movie is just about, like, what we as a culture are doing to ourselves, basically. And she has the line where she says, "Oh, I was so lucky that you found me. I was a single mother.
Yes, that's so true, too.
I never thought I would have anybody again, but you were such a nice guy. You took me in." And she's probably thinking to herself, can I really go back to being a single mother again?
Yeah, this is another example of how every single detail of every character adds to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really crazy. You could dissect this movie for hours, but you're right. Society puts a red flag on women who are single mothers who have kids, right? Like, that's how society treats them. Like, they're not going to find anybody else. Like, they're lucky to have found somebody else, and that's how she feels.
Right, that's what she
feels like
thinks.
She's in a disadvantaged position.
So now even though she knows what he did was wrong, if she leaves him, what is she going to do then?
It's the same with the AI, because that's a perfect example for all of this. It's set up in such a way that the ending is profound and nuanced, right? A lot of movies now will just be like, AI bad. And obviously it's bad. I don't like it. I'm anti AI, but it's just this movie goes through a whole movie where it's never even mentioned once. And it lays all the groundwork where it's trying to express how we've lost our humanity, right? Like I keep saying. And then at the end, it brings in the AI to really hit it home and show this is
Right.
what we're talking about. The final shots of the movie with the credits are robots cutting down trees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what could be more like straightforward than that, right?
Well, and that's ultimately what's great about the movie too, is that you see how what he's saying applies to so many different facets. Like it's not just about paper companies, right? It's not just about
Exactly.
this one guy. It's about everything and everybody. It's almost like going from more specific to more broad, where instead of
Yes.
getting the audience to go like, yeah, I get it, when you go really obvious in the beginning, you kind of zoom out instead of zooming in. And you start with this specific character, this specific circumstance, and then you're able to zoom out and see the larger picture there. And then at the end, like you're talking about with the credits, you go, oh yeah, shit, that's true.
Yes, exactly. Because it's the zooming out, right? Because you're watching the movie and you're not relating to it at all. It's interesting and it's a fun watch and you're entertained, but you're not relating to it.
It's a weird movie because it's so entertaining. It's really funny. It's really energetic. But when you think about it, you're like, oh, this is insane. Like this is crazy. So it's such a tightrope that it's walking tonally.
We never even mentioned the incredible editing in this
Yeah,
movie
it's so true. It's so good.
and the incredible camera work. The amount of insane cameras that are just beautiful and interesting and so well choreographed, but like stuff you've never even seen and
Mm-hmm.
transitions is amazing.
Do you know what shot I love? The inside the beer glass when he does
Yeah,
the
that
bomb
was a good
shot.
one. Yes, because
Just
it's like the moment where he's about to lose it because he's drinking,
exactly.
but you feel it
Yep.
in the camera.
It's like when the shot glass hits the bottom of the beer glass again, you're like, it's done. He's gone.
And
Like
your
that's
gut
the
drops
moment.
a
Like,
little bit too.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's because of the camera work. It adds to that feeling as if he just drank it in a normal one shot.
Yeah. Totally.
Another part that I really liked was there was a few moments of great juxtaposition between two different things happening. And one was when he goes to the dance to try to dance with his wife and
Mm-hmm.
she's with that other guy and he gets pissed and leaves. He goes back to the site of the first murder and tries to get the gun back. And it's like storm raining and he's digging for this gun. And it cuts back to like the party rave that the wife is at, but it keeps the sound from the thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm.
That like there's a ton of little things like that in the movie where it's keeping the sound from a different scene that it's cutting back and forth between, but it perfectly works and the timing is just perfect. I really appreciated that.
It's using the medium really well, where it's an audiovisual medium, so there's two senses that are being
Hmm.
stimulated, and how do you use both of them to convey the feeling or the meaning of the scene?
And that's really what you want from any movie and from any director, to have a full understanding of all of the different senses that are a part of cinema.
Yeah, using every single element of a film. The production design. I mean, his production design in his movies is so great.
Yeah.
Like again, I talked about my favorite scene in the movie is when he has the gun held up to the first guy in his study where he has all his records, all the texture, all the life in there. There's something to that. It feels lived in. You feel like you know this guy, even though you don't.
Yeah, for sure. I also think, going back to your favorite scene, like with the really loud music, the music choice in this movie was amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
What an amazing movie.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It's so good. The ending is so good.
And the thing that makes the ending so good to me, that really made me have a moment where I like felt it deeply in my soul, right? Watching this movie, was that the whole time you're watching the movie and it feels, again, it's hyperbolic, right? It's a guy, even though it's about losing a job, it's not really relatable, right? It's
Hmm.
relatable in the sense of like the panic and the way that society puts pressure on us, but not in his actual actions, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But then at the end, I feel like it recontextualizes the whole movie to show how this affects everybody. Yeah, we're not all killing people, obviously, but we are all screwing other people over and doing whatever we have to do. We don't care what happens to other people in order to be successful on our own.
What late stage capitalism has done to everybody. Yeah, it's so good. Highly recommend.
And I just think it's amazing too, because it really makes you sit and think about your own actions, no matter who you are, you know?
Yeah, it's fascinating because there's a big trend in just cinema in general. I wouldn't even say Korean cinema specifically or American cinema, just in general, recent years, there's been a rise of sort of like eat the rich films, right? We're realizing we're in late stage capitalism
For sure.
and seeing how toxic the 1% can be towards everybody else. What's fascinating about this movie is it's a dissection and analysis of what late stage capitalism is doing to us, but it's got a wide spectrum of the different people that it's affecting. Like, it's not just about necessarily like a 1%er. It's just about like a working class guy, right? He works in a factory.
Yes.
He's just trying to provide for his family. And he's not targeting a rich CEO. That's not who he wants.
No,
he's targeting other guys just like him.
Targeting other blue collar people.
Exactly. So I think that it's such a fascinating different lens to look at this same sort of thematic that we've been seeing in a lot of film recently. You know, like Parasite is more of the working class versus the rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is like the everybody story.
And that's such a good point, because there have been a lot of movies like The Menu and Triangle of Sadness.
Yep.
And I mean, there's been a lot. And it's easy to watch a movie like that. And not that those are bad movies. Those are good movies. But it's easy to watch a movie like that and be like, yeah, fuck rich people. But it doesn't really at all make you self-reflect. It doesn't make you say, how has this environment and this money-obsessed and job-obsessed society affected me? But this movie really does.
Yeah, it's a banger, and it is really dense. It's tough to talk about. And
yeah, I know this has been hard for me. Honestly, I'm like stumbling over all these things, but
and I'm sure there's a million things that we didn't cover that if I'm like, as soon as we stop recording, I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't say that. Do you have any closing thoughts about No Other Choice?
Just, go watch it, and also try your best to cherish human connection, because it's being ripped away from us.
Yeah, the art and expression and people.
Yeah.
And not consumerism. All right, hey, thanks for listening to this little rat chat about No Other Choice. Both of our favorite movies of the year last year. What was your favorite movie? Did you see this? Did you like this? Let us know. And let us know what other symbols or themes and stuff you took away from this really dense, well-crafted film. Follow us, social media, Rats on Film Pod, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. And we'll be back in a couple weeks to talk about or chat about and rank some more movies.
And watch out for your coworkers. You never know.